Hello, hey everybody. I'm Daniela. Nice to meet you. You can call me Dani. I'm Italian. I'm 28 and I love to read books. So I've decided to open this brand new channel to talk about books in English. Since I'm Italian, even though I think I'm pretty fluent in English, I hope you can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, I'm aware that my accent may be a bit weird because I'm Italian. Um, and some words may be mispronounced. So just be kind, just be nice. So I've been a book blogger for longer than 11 years actually. I do have a booktube channel on YouTube, of course, in Italian. But I really wanted to speak English because I've recently attended a course in English. Yeah, a course in English. and First of all, my teacher was a huge supporter of me and my passion. But also, I felt like that was the only occasion I had to speak English. And so I think that I really, really need to find another way. So social media have always been a great way for me to meet other people with my interests. So we're here. I saw that has a good way to start and somehow introduce myself to you. I could have started speaking about the books that I've read in October. Since I'm Italian, some books may have not been translated in English. So I'll tell you, I'm aware that could be an issue, but maybe that could be nice for those who want to start learning Italian or maybe want to read more in Italian because they know Italian. However, I don't know. I'm aware that this could be an issue too. So, in the month of October, I actually finished only three books, but I have four currently read currently reading books. I'm currently reading. I apologize. I'm a mess. I'm chaotic in whatever language I'm speaking. So just for you to know. The first book that I finished in the month of October was Owl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. This is the first book in the trilogy that has the same name of this book. It talks about Sophie, who lives in Market Shipping, and he's the first daughter, is the eldest daughter of this hatter. When her father dies, her two little sister get to be sent to two different places so they can learn a different job, and she stays at the shop. One day, this witch, I really don't know the name of the place she's a witch of. She's a witch in. I'm sorry. Um, this witch goes to the shop, and she's absolutely not happy with anything that Sophie proposed to her. And so she transforms Sophie into an elder person. Sophie then ran away to the moving castle of this um, gosh of this wizard called Owl. She's heard bad things about him, but mostly that he's cruel to young women. So she's an older person now. So she's like, well, maybe I'd be safe there, and maybe he can do something to help me out with this issue. And so she ran away to this moving castle, and she starts to be sort of the uh, I wouldn't say the waiter, the waitress. She started cleaning. She's like the cleaning lady, and it's pretty chaotic. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty chaotic. It was a fantasy, of course. Sometimes you lose the focus on the main um, theme, we could say. So the fact that Sophie has been cursed. So that's like our main issue, I would say. But it was funny. I'm not a huge reader of of fantasy books, but this one's good. So I'm going to read the whole trilogy. It was funny, it was cute, it was messy, but yeah, I recommend this. Second book that I finished that you're gonna see here, you're gonna see the cover comparing appearing. I'm sorry, appearing here because I read it on my dying Kindle. Yeah, I've read The Vanishing Of by Britt Benner. The books talk about these two twins that ran away from Mallard to Louisiana, the little town they were born but also raised. They grew up there. They had to leave school because their mother, because sadly their father has been killed. Their mother can't support them anymore, so she needs them to work. They don't want to live that life anymore, so they run away to New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken, and they start to live their life there, build their life there. One day, the introvert one, Stella, runs away, and it's not like running away. She basically abandoned their sister, and the two sisters live two different lives. Desiree lives as a black woman because they're actually black women that whose skin is clearer, paler, I would say. I'm sorry. I hope I'm using the right terms now. While Stella will live her life as a white woman, basically. So this book talks a lot about racism, both like the discrimination that you made your like a part of your personality that you live thinking of. So like I have to be like this in order to be accepted, in order to do this or that, because we're in America from the 60s to the 80s. um, and at the same time it talks about like generational trauma, which was very interesting. And it also talks about transsexuality. So it was very, very interesting. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars, if I'm not mistaken. It was a great book to read. It was well written. I want to read The Mothers too, or Mothers too, by the same author. I still haven't got it, but I want to read that. Last book that I finished, but as I told you, I read quite a lot, so I have other books to talk about later. This is an Italian book, so I apologize. The title is Se ti abbraccio non aver paura. The author is Fulvio Ervas. The title means if I hug you, don't be scared. It talks about this real story, even though it's a bit like storied, so it turned into a sort of fiction by the author. It talks about this journey of this father called Franco and his son. They 17 was 17 when they did this journey through America, both north and south. Andrea, the son, is autistic, and so they do this journey, this very particular journey through America. And the story is about the perception that the father has of his kid of his son, and how this his perception actually influenced the boy. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I actually didn't like it. First of all, it was written in a sort of stream of consciousness that I don't like at all. But also, I didn't like many things about the perception of autism. Autism is not a sickness, but it's treated like that somehow, like something that can be curated, but autism can be treated because it's a neurodivergency, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a bit ignorant, I must be honest, but I hated the way the father um, kept on thinking that autism could be cured cured. I'm sorry, cured. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go through a lot of mistakes in this video, and this is also the reason I'm filming this video right now. I'm starting to build this channel. um this perception of autism as something you can cure is also felt by Andrea, so the son, and this is awful. I think, like, personally, I think it's not right, and at the same time, it shows to Franco, the father, how many possibilities his son has. Also, like, he sees autism as a bad thing, his son still, of course, able to do a lot of stuff, able to interact with people, able to socialize, to live a lot of experience actually. So I didn't like it. It didn't portray autism how I expect to be portrayed. I'm not, like, I'm familiar with autism, but not so much. So as I said, I'm speaking from my ignorance. Okay, so you can correct me, absolutely, but I didn't like it. I apologize. I've started to read, and probably when you see this video, I've finished that. I started to read "We Prescribe You a Cat" by Ishida Syo, if I'm not mistaken. What a great book! It talks about this clinic for mental health where people go because they have some issue, and they literally prescribe you a cat as a treatment for that issue. Insane. I love it. I need that clinic to be real. I really need that studio, that doctor studio, to be real, because that would be a dream. So many of my issues would have probably disappeared if I had a cat. I used to have cats. I love cats. And this book was actually a gift by my friend Christina. She has a cat that's called Briciolo, which means a little bit, but at the same time is like male forced version of Crumble, and is actually big, but big and rounded. I love him, and I love him. I as I just said, and it was a perfect gift. She gave it to me for Christmas last year, but I'm a casual mood reader, so I pick my books in weird ways. This is me. Hello. So it was the perfect gift. I loved it. And I just bought the second book, which is "Will Prescribe You Another Cat." Like, yes, give it to me. I'm. I also started to read with my boyfriend Momo by Michel End. When I was younger, when I was like 12, I started to read Michel End books. I've read like four, but I have so many that I have to get to read yet, that I haven't read yet. Sorry, and I've read Momo when I was younger, but my boyfriend haven't. Hasn't. So we started to read this together, and it's going to be great. I know it because I loved the book when I was younger, and it's going to be a good experience. I'm reading with my grandmother. Oh no, I haven't told you. I haven't told you the story of Momo. Momo is basically a really young girl, a little girl. She's like maybe 8 at best, and she runs away apparently from an orphanage. And this town that is probably in Lazio, so the region of Rome, um, there's this village, this community that starts taking care of her. But the truth is, it's her taking care of them because she's really good at listening. They're not so rich. No one of this area is rich, but they help each other. At some point, like time men, if I'm not mistaken, this is how you translate it, start to go to this area and start telling people, if you sell us your time, we're gonna make you rich somehow. So of course people start selling their time, and Momo is the only one who can stop this situation. And it's a fantasy. I'm not a huge fantasy reader, I already said that, but lately I'm more a fantasy reader. This book is great, and I think I always thought that Michael End wanted to teach so many things to people through his books. That's where I somehow thought the whole time. I've reread The Never Ending Story 5 times, I think. I have it in a double edition. I have my first edition, which is in a mass market paperback, so it's kind of a bit ruined at the moment. And I have the, oh gosh, the Puffle Quote, well, the collection version of the Penguin Random House, if I'm not mistaken, which is super beautiful. Like, I'm going to show you someday. And that book to me, first of all, it was the book that changed me as a reader. And it's a book that it's meant to teach a lot of things to people. So I always had this perception of Hendes book. Anyway, I was saying to you that I'm reading A Man Called Ove. I guess this is how you say it. By Frederick Beckman with my grandmother. We're one third of it, and it's about this man called Ove, of course, who's recently became a widow. He sadly lost his wife, and I don't know how she passed away, but she was a huge, like huge light in his life. So now that she's gone, his life is awful, and he hates pretty much everything, and he wants to stop living, basically. But there's a new family near him, and somehow they change his life. And it's a great book. Like, we're only at one third of it, but I can already tell you it's probably gonna be, if not one of the best book that I read this year, a great read anyway. Absolutely. I'm also reading The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I'm reading on my Kobo. It's upside down. I have a Kobo Libra color. I recently bought this because, as I said before, my Kindle is passing away, I guess, after only 5 years, because I can only charge it by plugging it into my computer. There's no other way to charge it. And so, I tried my best. So, as I was saying, I reached the 67% of the read, so of the book, I'm sorry. And this book is about Edmond Dantès, which is like second in charge on this ship for this seller. I don't know how to say it actually. Who's called Morel. The captain of the ship got a really bad cold, flu, and so tell Edmond, you have to go to that place, give this letter to this person, and get another letter back that you're going to bring to Paris. Edmond does this, although the captain passed away. And he doesn't know what the letters are about. He doesn't know anything. So his enemies, he is not even aware to have enemies actually, tell the, oh, like police, I would say, the gendarmerie. I don't know. I should have read the plot in the synopsis in English. Well, anyway, bear with me. I'm sorry. Um, the enemies kind of accuse him of being a supporter of Napoleon, that wants to get back to France and build back the empire. Edmond doesn't know what's inside the letter, as I said. So, on his engagement party, he gets arrested for being a supporter of Napoleon, and he gets to jail. He gets to the Castle of If, which is the worst jail apparently, and he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what happened to him, and that's how his story starts. And let me tell you, this book is so great. It's going to be probably my favorite classic of all times. I'm not a huge fan of classic, although I have a bachelor in cultural heritage, so I know about history. I care about history, conservation, preserving stuff from our past, in order to, like, make sure that our future can be built better, which is not what has happened, but this is a whole other story. And I don't like classics because I understand what they represent, but it doesn't mean that the story can be good, or like, is it for me, or it is for me anyway, you know. This book also, it's great, it's so well written, and it's so filled with adventure, actions. It's great. And also there's revenge, and I'm a Gemini. I was born the 4th of June. So I like revenge, I must be honest, but like good revenge for good reason. Anyway, this is what I'm reading. Probably by the time you see this video, I may have already finished The Count of Monte Cristo. I really hope so, because it's such a great book. I want to finish it, but I don't want to finish it because it's great. Anyway, I'll let you know as soon as possible. I don't know how consistent I will be with this channel. I must be honest. I'll try to be as consistent as I am with my Italian channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll be back for more, and I hope to be back soon. Thank you for watching and have good read. Bye!